I do think that anti-racism can be codified, which is to me what you're talking about there. But it's not like the solutions don't exist. It's that like bringing them to bear again, like that's what I'm stuck on is like, it's not like the possibilities. I'm definitely not a defeatist. I'm definitely not one of those people who is defeated or thinks that we can't do anything. Obviously you're here on my show, right? So, but I just feel like it doesn't, the understanding that there are solutions that can be brought to bear, that there are strategies that we can take, that there is power that can be built. That reality alone isn't enough, right? You have to have a strategic plan to get there, and ultimately developing a strategic plan outside of the typical social and economic structures that are in place. That is a huge, gargantuan task that I'm not even sure anyone's actually tried to take it on in that way. I think that most people who take it on choose to work within the system. Like everyone, really. Like I can't think of somebody who hasn't chosen that. Like, because it's what's available. It's the resources that are available. And so if we're going to forgo all of that and find somehow something that's separate from that in order to fuel this movement, that is just, it's a huge beast. And
right now, though, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at what's happening in the world, so the BRICS framework, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and these other new economies that they've been adding. SWIFT is the international money exchanging platform that's used. They've already started creating those new platforms. And then if you look at stuff in Africa and the different platforms that telephone companies are using, if you create a satellite-based system where you can globalize the telephone and communication access and bypass the Western structured legacy systems, you can effectively do the same thing. And I think the avenue to pursue it would be places like the African Union, which they did kill Gaddafi to try to offset his goal, but the African-backed dinar, cryptocurrencies, tokenization of the economy are things that you can use to implement resource availability and its valuation prior to it going to international companies who then take the data and use it to leverage for their own companies.
So are you working on that? Are you gonna find a way to make that come to fruition, or what? What's gonna happen?
So I've written it out. I just haven't found the people. So that's why, like, my travel is trying to find the people, the mindset, the diamond in the rough, the Google, the Facebook, or the people who might have lost their job, the people who, like my sister worked at Google, husband works at Amazon. So there are elements of things. But I started to realize, even when talking to them, how entrenched they are within the system.
That's what I'm saying. Those people who you're after.
No. But for me, I'm like, there are those also who are the disgruntled, or the people who's like, I don't agree with this facial recognition and identity. I don't agree with what they're doing to Palestine. And those people, they work within these companies as well. So they have altering views that typically are just marginalized, so they don't have an impact. But within every great idea, it started off small and there was a disruptor. MySpace used to be, that's what I'm saying, like even the smallest idea that we might think MySpace used to be the big thing, and then Facebook came along as a small idea that now is what it is today. Amazon, Google's. So for me, I'm like, we need to think, and I still think I'm young enough, like I don't need to follow Elon Musk to common basic stuff that I'm like, okay, if give me $1 billion, sure, I'll tell you what I'll focus on, right? There's a few things, and for me, it's quite simple. Keep your database and system as you have it. You love it, great. Okay, I can take a copy of that, because if you look, they have a whole bunch of backup databases for a reason. If anything happens, I'm like, okay, we can take our data, no longer supply you with the information where you're doing your future trading or whatever the case might be, and we create and use that data for our own system, prioritizing ourselves. the same way every country around the world is doing. And if you look at places like China, who's as much as they complain about it, it's like you complain because they've gotten more people out of poverty than America and Europe has, as opposed to creating poverty when they go into countries, which you can see with every major war in the last 30 years. So for me, it's kind of like, oh, there's systems out there. We just don't get taught about it. We get told that, oh, afraid of the boogeyman, China, Russia, Middle East, or whoever. And I'm like, and all these same companies and people telling you to be afraid are over there using their cheap labor and benefiting off it and creating billion-dollar and trillion-dollar evaluated companies. So there must be something to this hypocrisy.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is.
There's a solution there. There's a solution they don't want us to get access to, which is why they're trying to create this disconnect. COVID was beautiful in its attempt to create the separation, because that turned into a, like, between OJ, 9/11, and COVID, it was like, oh, us against them. And it created that dynamic from a spiritual, physical, criminal element, and then biological with COVID. So I'm hoping to hopefully find the people where we can reconnect and implement some of these solutions within the framework. But I just haven't found the country and people yet.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support, and see you next time.